This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Erron Black. This Outworld gunslinger has made quite a mark on MK and has changed a great deal in the various patches of MK11. Overall, Erron Black is a solid character, with numerous strengths that work to his advantage and 3 variations that all do very distinct things for him. 52 card pickup is rather traditional, giving access to extra options from the rifle stance, most importantly a launcher, as well as extensions to various strings, but the most notable addition is the Scud Shot, an attack that completely nullifies enemy projectiles and can even be used for damage. Barking Irons is more about mix-ups. Acid is replaced by unblockable dynamite, and Erron Black gains a command grab. Both of these together inherently make opponents have to guess on defense and gains a deceiving amount of damage. Locked and Loaded is the variation that gains Erron's armor breaking option, the Acid Pour. This attack has a strong crushing blow that triggers if the move breaks armor or hits while the enemy is standing in acid. This move is also safe on block, making it a strong option for making otherwise unsafe attacks safe. Additionally, Locked and Loaded gets a bear trap which can be used for setup. Erron Black is a character who has changed a lot in MK11, but a good pick for anyone looking for a character with strong offense.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Shang. Shang is a staple bad guy in the MK universe, and sees a lot of play in the PlayStation MK11 Open Series. Shang is one of the game's premier keep-away characters as a base, but features much versatility across his 2 main tournament variations. Fundamentally, he boasts a strong set of combo strings that can fit any situation, be it fast highs, confirmable lows, or advancing attacks. He will have a strong option for almost any range. Warlock is where Shang Tsung mainly thrives, his strongest long-range variation due to the additional move Ground Eruption. This paired with his Corpse Drop makes him a menace at long-range damage, keep away, and overall space control, as covering both the ground underneath your opponent and the space above them is highly effective. Soul Eater is much more up close and personal, swapping many of Shang Tsung's base special moves for shape-shifting MK Ninja variants. This gives him access to strong combos across the Ermac Lift and the Rain Super Kick, more mix-up potential due to the low Reptile Slide, and the ability to nullify projectile attacks with the Smoke Shake. If you want a powerful and versatile character, you won't need to look much further than Shang Tsung.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Jacqui Briggs. Consistently one of MK11's strongest characters, Jacqui excels at almost everything and boasts a near complete toolset, making her 3 variations all the more formidable. First round KO is for fans of traditional grounded Mortal Kombat, built around her strong normals that grant feints, throw counters, and a clinch stance for impressive damage, alongside a scary crushing blow. Next gen is important for Jacqui as it adds something that she otherwise doesn't have: projectiles. These projectiles can be used for standard damage or fired onto the ground to add obstacles that the opponent will take damage from on contact. Upgraded is the most common variation as it grants her arguably the best mobility in MK11, a leap that is a threat from all distances, and the ability to cancel her air shrapnel blast for huge combos and pressure options. In addition, she gains a ground pound in the air that hits low, making her offense even more effective. Jacqui is strong, but it takes time to master her. She has slightly less health than most of the cast and has a lot of strings that are all good for different reasons. When learning her, walk before you can run, and over time, you'll see what makes her so powerful.
PlayStation.
How's it going, everybody? Mark, Man, and Rip here at the PlayStation Competition Center for another Mortal Kombat 11 video. Today, we're going to be breaking down the basics, and we're going to be talking about essential terminology and move notation.
Exactly. Just knowing these terms are going to help you whether you're watching tournament footage or just reading up on strategy. So let's get started.
The first thing you'll commonly hear is a different way to refer to the attacks in the game. Rather than front punch, back punch, front kick, and back kick. Or instead of saying the PlayStation buttons like triangle, you'll hear these attacks called 1, 2, 3, and 4. Directions are often referred to as back, forward, down, and up.
This is important for a few reasons. First, it makes sure everybody can talk about attacks the same way, regardless of what controller they're using or whether they've changed their button mappings. And second, it's much faster, shorter, and easier than saying the full attack name. Uppercuts become down 2, Johnny's shadow kick becomes back forward 4.
It also helps us describe strings in a more concise way. A string is a series of attacks performed quickly. Each character has different strings. For example, Johnny has a string performed by forward, 3, 4, 4. This means you hold forward on the controller, then press 3, then 4 in that order. But note that Erron Black does not have a forward 3, 4, 4 string. Looking at his move list, we see that he has a back 2, 2, 2 as an option instead.
So is Johnny's forward 3, 4, 4 string a good move? How can we tell? One measure of this is whether the move is safe or unsafe. This means if the move is blocked, can our opponent get a guaranteed attack on us? In this move's case, it's safe because Johnny can always block any attempt to counterattack. This makes the move pretty strong on offense because you can use it without taking huge amounts of risk.
On the other hand, Erron Black's back 2, 2, 2 is unsafe. This means certain attacks are guaranteed to hit Erron if this attack is blocked. This guaranteed counterattack is called a punish, and it's a concept that applies to special moves as well. If an attack is unsafe, does that make it automatically useless?
Well, not necessarily. What if Erron does a special move at the end of the string? Going from an attack into a special move directly is called a cancel, and in this case, picking the Scud Shot special move helps keep Erron safe. What happens if the string hits the opponent instead? Erron might want to choose a higher damage special move as his cancel that would have normally been unsafe. This is called a hit confirm. You can visually react to whether your string is hit or blocked and change your action to keep yourself safe or do high damage.
Hit confirms are useful for a lot of different moves, especially since you can circumvent having to do the unsafe options in these actions. It's going to take a lot of practice, but if you learn your damage options, you'll be able to take less risks.
And hopefully learning about notation, strings, safe attacks, and hit confirms will help you learn more about the concepts presented in the MK community. For more tips on Mortal Kombat 11, stay tuned to us here at the PlayStation Competition Center on compete.playstation.com.
PlayStation.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the PlayStation Competition Center's coverage of Mortal Kombat 11. I'm Rip here with Markman, and in this video we're going to be talking about the unique ways that MK11 handles its special meters.
In most fighting games, you either gain meter by taking damage or doing attacks. MK11 handles it a bit differently. Everything is based on timers. Let's take a look.
Mortal Kombat 11 actually has 2 meters, one for offensive techniques and one for defensive techniques. At the start of the match, they come full with 2 stocks, making them ready to use immediately. When you spend meter in any way, the meter slowly recharges at a set rate. Attacking won't speed it up.
Let's start with playing defense. Getting knocked down in a fighting game is never an easy time, since your opponent can attack you as you stand up. MK11's defensive meter gives you some options here. By pressing the stance switch button and left or right, you can do an evasive roll before standing back up. This costs 1 stock of defensive meter. The roll cannot be hit by attacks and will only lose to throws, and it's especially good if you need to reposition yourself. If your opponent got too aggressive with their offense, you might even be able to land a hit yourself.
You can also perform an attack right as you get off the ground. There are 2 types of attacks, and because you're attacking, they both cost 1 defensive and 1 offensive meter. Press up and front kick to perform your safest option. Your character can't be hit or thrown, but you don't gain much reward either. It doesn't do much damage and leaves the fighters at close range. The riskier option, up and back punch, cannot absorb anything, but if it hits, you launch the opponent high into the air and can do a damaging combo.
Keep in mind the defender doesn't need to attack you as you rise from a knockdown. If they simply back up and let your attack miss, you'll be in huge trouble, so keep your opponent's distance in mind. The other main use for defensive meter is escaping combos. If your opponent launches you into the air, instead of taking lots of damage, you can instead perform a breakaway with down plus block, which drops you to the ground safely. This costs both defensive meters, though, so not only is it hugely expensive, but you won't be able to use other defensive techniques for at least 10 seconds while your meter recharges.
You can also use defensive meter to interact with certain objects in a stage's background. Pressing the interact button near these will cost you 1 defensive stock, but you can use these objects to do high damage, or to escape a tricky situation.
Let's shift now to offensive techniques. The primary use is to power up your special moves. By doing the regular input and pressing the interact button, you will amplify it to gain new properties. For example, Garrus' Bed of Spikes special move normally just ends his combo. However, if he spends meter to amplify it, Garrus launches his opponent to the air and he can land much more damage.
It's important to use both your meters effectively. Finding a good amplified special move is a great use of your offensive meter, but don't neglect your defensive meter either.
Breakaways in particular can save you from huge combo damage. Alternatively, if your opponent does a breakaway, make sure you take advantage of it and go on the offense. That's it for today's video, and make sure you stay tuned to the PlayStation Competition Center for more coverage of Mortal Kombat 11.